Hey, hey, y'all. Welcome back to Empowering Real Talk. It's your girl, Coach K. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you are subscribed to the Upgraded MindsetZ media channel. If you see my beautiful face, if you are listening, then make sure you have favorited Empowering Real Talk on your streaming platform so you don't miss an updated episode. This episode is going to be super amazing. The energy is already flying high, y'all. So we are going to dive right in. And I'm allowing my guest the honor of introducing herself. Hello. How are you?
I'm well and blessed and grateful today to
Absolutely.
just be and breathe and know that I'm alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Me too. I'm super excited. Please share a little bit more of well, who you are, what you do, what brought you here to Empowering Real Talk.
My name is Avare, and I am the founder and director of a 509 ministry based on the Essene practices of ritual purification. So we are in Kauai. We've been operational for about 9 years now, all by word of mouth. I've been in these practices myself, well, lifetimes, and this lifetime, 25 years of practicing purification. And so about 10 years ago, people just started asking me to help them. They saw that I was doing that and that I wasn't aging, and I live a very vibrant life. I'm 56, by the way.
I'm on 56.
So, and people just started coming to me asking me for, "What are you doing?" And, I shared my practice with someone, and it had been something I had been practicing for 15 years. So it was a gradual process for me. But someone came and did, I was in my normal 10-day cleanse every year, and somebody came and did that. I was like, "Why don't you just come do what I'm doing?" And so she just did everything I was doing, and she like, popped. And I was like, holy, I don't want to say the other word. We'll just leave it at that. But I was like, wow, this really works.
Right, right.
So, and ever since then, people have just been coming asking me for my help to cleanse and purify their vessels. And I consider myself a rebirth midwife to rebirthing souls because this is our soul, right? The body's just the soul trying to catch up to itself. So we like to create causes and conditions that allow that to happen swiftly. And so for the past 8 years, people have been coming to me to purify their vessels solely by word of mouth. I don't advertise. I'm actually pretty shy. So I don't put myself out on, I really wanted to be on your podcast because first of all, I love you and I've been watching your podcast for some time and I love the name of your podcast because we really need to get real right now on this planet. We need to get real and
Yes,
we need to be
ma'am.
able to speak the real and we need to be able to speak truth to life because we have been sorely overlaid by societal and cultural constructs. They're structures
Come on, come
set
on.
up to mind control us and get us to live according to the paradigm of a system that isn't supporting and it isn't serving us. And that system is supposed to serve us, and we are servants of it. And Avari doesn't play that shit. It's
Hey,
just
come on,
being real. You
come
said
on.
real talk.
Y'all
That's real
heard
talk.
that. Listen, y'all know what
Okay.
y'all gonna catch here. Raw, uncut
Yeah. That's
conversation.
real.
And I,
You
I'm
know,
so excited to chat with her and just learn more about what it is that she does because she's absolutely right. These are the conversations that we need to have.
mhm.
And I'm just super excited that she chose to come here with her shy self and share more about that, but also the importance of us breaking away from those things so we can truly elevate and operate in our higher
Yeah.
selves. So I'm just
Yeah.
so happy to be here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned the word
Real deal.
purification. So I would love for you to tell a little bit more about that because I will be honest, probably some of my listeners aren't aware. So I would love
Yeah.
for you to like
Yeah.
define it and kind of give us a more
Yeah.
understanding about it.
Well, I say cleansing and purification. The path of purification is a process, and it's not just a physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. We have been under amnesia for a very long time. And so the process is a process of uncovering and unraveling to get to the core of who we are.
Yes.
Right? Not who we think we are, not who we've been programmed to think we are, not that cultural overlay, not those societal constructs that have us walk, just like at COVID, walking around with masks on. Not, and I'm so grateful to see the women stepping up in their voices. It's been a long time coming.
Say it again.
You know why?
Long time
It's been a
coming.
long time coming.
Yes.
And I'm shy. I'm really actually introverted, but when it comes to that, when it comes to truth, I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to fight for us. I'm willing to fight for our life. This is our life. And we have been duped into serving a system that's killing us. It's literally, the whole COVID scam, all of it, all for profit, all for money makers. No, but
Some of us don't
it
wanna
ain't
hear
for
that.
nothing else. It ain't for nothing else. The whole medical system is a sick care system. It is there to make profit.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm ready to blow this shit out.
Yeah,
I'm
it's sad.
telling you now, Ma.
I've really been having those conversations
Mhm.
because I do feel like they're only there to treat symptoms.
That's it.
They're not there to cure anything. They're not there. And honestly, I truly believe that there's a cure for almost everything out here. So I definitely
Yeah.
have had conversations about that,
Yeah.
but I've also realized that I can't have those conversations with everybody, especially when
Yeah.
we talk about COVID, because I know some
Totally.
people lost their lives, and I'm not taking away from that. I definitely
Yeah.
lost some that were close to me,
Yeah.
but I have to look beyond the emotional side of it and look
Yeah.
at the logical side and look at the societal side and say, this is something that is continuously going on and on and on. And we're
Yeah.
only just rolling over and letting our emotions prevent us from stepping up and
Totally.
advocating and even sacrificing. Because in order for
Totally.
us to see real change, we
Yeah.
know that some sacrifices got to be made.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it may just be the sacrifice of that idea of I-ness
Mhm.
rather than the understanding of the oneness of we, right? Because me, it's like I want my whole tribe to be healthy.
Come on.
I'm gonna bend over backwards to make that happen. What we've been most duped about is our physical body's capacity to heal itself. When you get a fever, your body's in healing mode. All those symptoms, that's your body healing itself. What we need to start to learn to do is create the causes and conditions that promote that. Because ever since the egg and the sperm met, your body's been regenerating. That cell split, and it's been making new cells ever since. As long as we give it the right conditions, it will keep doing that. So, when I was younger, I don't think that rotting and decaying in our body is God's design. Just something in me said that's not normal. That there's something not right about that. The way that we have been ingrained to just, yeah, I'm getting old, that's a program.
It is definitely a program.
I'm not old. I'm not even close to old. Tell me when I'm 500, then maybe I'll talk about old, right? I don't know about that, because like even I'm not, uh, I just from what I've seen, the miracle of regeneration and what is possible in our bodies when we actually take good care of ourselves, right? When we there are ways to reuse the body. There are ways to the liver is a I'm just in love with the liver. It's first of all, it's not an organ, it's a gland, and it's completely regenerative. You can cut half of it off, and 2 months later, it grows back, brand new. It knows the coding of itself, right? So that to me, it's like, why don't the doctors don't know about that because they're programmed.
Yep.
They're also
Or
programmed.
they do, but they've been paid not to say something.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've met a bunch of doctors and they're kind of dumb. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it like, really? They don't even know how to take care of their own bodies. They don't even know how to take care of that. How are they going to take care of other people? And let me tell you something, when they come out of med school, they establish a practice. That's what they're doing. They're practicing. Okay. Now, I have literally in the last 7, 8 years watched people heal themselves. I just create the causes and conditions for that to happen. I'm not healing anyone.
Right.
I go like that. No. And people try to put that on me. I'm like, no,
Would say,
you
"Mm-mm,
don't
not
get
me."
to do, you gonna take responsibility for your life. That's what I'm here for. I can create a cause and condition for you to do that, but I'm not here to heal you.
Yeah,
You're here to do that. And actually, I have to say, and I really wanted to talk with you about this today because I see you, first of all, but it requires a will.
that part.
And a lot of people are sorely lacking in that. Knowing it, being it, willingness to take charge of your life,
Yeah,
right? To take your life back
you
from a
got to.
system that is set up for you to rot, decay, and die.
Yep.
No, 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 no.
And it's a
I've already don't play
ongoing
that.
cycle. We see it of generation after generation after
Yeah.
generation.
I mean, you could just look at our society and see, most of the products that are in those central aisles of the store, they wouldn't even sell those products in other countries.
They don't sell them in other
They
countries.
don't, they're illegal.
Yep,
Like
they
in
are.
Europe, they wouldn't sell half the shit they sell in the stores
In
here. I'm
fact.
sorry.
No,
Anyway,
no, we cuss
I
on
get
Empowering Real
I
Talk.
get
We
voracious
cuss
about that
on
because
Empowering
I'm
Real
like,
Talk. Let
dude,
me be clear.
why are we going to these stores and buying this poison? Yeah, no, we're not doing that
Yeah.
anymore. We're going to say no to that. And it's happening. I see it. And
No, and I was gonna say that, like, I will be honest, like, this last year, I really have started seeing more and more. And, they use the term woke or, things
yeah,
like that. And I don't even use that. I just say
conscious.
aware. Yep.
Yeah,
Conscious,
conscious and
aware.
aware.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's like there's nothing wrong with that. They're going to make it seem like that there's something wrong because of the way things have been for so many years. But there are a lot of
Totally.
people out here who are doing their research, who are
Yeah,
doing their studies.
I know.
I'm not even talking about people that go to school to get degrees and things like that because I have degrees. But the problem is those degrees aren't helping on the real stuff
On the
that
real
we need
deal.
to be trying
Yeah,
to work through, heal from,
yeah,
and
yeah.
elevate and become our most higher selves.
Totally,
And we see
totally.
those challenges because, again, it's something the propaganda that we see on social
Mm-hmm.
media, in the news, they're intentionally and purposely not reporting the things. Like, I watch international news, and the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I see internationally is completely different
Totally.
than what is actually being
Yeah,
reported here in the
yeah,
US,
yeah.
you
I
know,
know.
and
It's
just
sad.
really, but
It's when you travel too, when you
yeah,
travel and you see like people aren't living with a lot there's whole countries that don't know what's going on in our country and all our political dramas and everything. And they're happy.
yep,
They're like free, right? It's like because that again, that's a form of mind control. Right? They get a bunch of people through that Fox News. Everybody's thinking those same thoughts. And, we're not sure that that's true. I mean, like when you get real super cognitive, right? If I didn't see it with my own eyes or experiencing it in my own thing, it's actually not true. It's not true. It could be true for other beings, but it's not actually. And this is where we get to actually reclaim the sovereignty of our own being. Because I could get caught up in all kinds of stories about what's going on in the world, but I look around me and I'm a hold on, Avari. The sky is blue. There's a butterfly right there. There's some wind blowing. Like when we really get tuned in, it's like, hold on. That's actually my
that
mind.
part. Ooh, that
That's actually
part.
not what's happening in my experience right now.
Yep.
And that is powerful.
It is so powerful. I literally have had this conversation a lot here in the last couple weeks as far as because people are like, you don't see what's going on. I do. But what do you like? I don't
But
like
where do
to
you
be
see
around
it?
people. that are just like, "Oh, I'm just trying to maintain, I'm just living." Listen, I understand, depression is real, mental illness is real, all of those things are real to a degree. However, I have control of the things that I put in my life, the things that I just like the things that I eat.
That's
I have
it.
control of what I watch, what I see, who I'm around, my
That's
environment.
right.
And I think we all have control of those things,
Yeah.
but because that little tick in the back of our head is like, "Oh, we still wanna see negativity. We still
Mhm.
wanna see toxicity." We're not willing to give that up 100%, and because of that, this
Mm.
is where we are. You're
That's a
struggling.
really that's a brilliant point,
Yeah,
love. I mean, super masterful point
yeah,
on us because really what we need to do, and just like Bob Marley says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
yep.
Only you can free your mind. No one's going to do that for you. And really, the whole system is set up to not do that.
No, exactly, and that's it. Like, where people are like, "Oh, I can't believe that this is going on." Why can't you believe it? This is what's been
Mhm.
going on. This is nothing new, people. It's
It's been
nothing
the
new.
end of the world since the beginning of the world. Here's something I'd like to offer your viewers in the realm of when you watch a movie. Okay, this is a really good example. When you watch a movie and you kind of lose yourself in the narrative of that film, right? And so there's some things that can happen during that film that would elicit emotion from you,
Right,
right? It's a sad scene. I'm crying because I'm actually invested in that narrative because I'm watching a movie.
yep,
Well, it's no different on the news.
the narrative.
Yeah, but when you turn that movie off and you look around, you're like, hold on. Life's happening. Actually, life is happening.
Life is
And
happening.
it's actually happening for us. And I think that's what we've been duped out of knowing. It's actually happening for you, not against you.
Yeah, it's not. It's
It's
not.
not against you.
I feel like that we have to go through the depths of BS in order for us to renew and
Yeah.
restart, and that's just where I'm at, and that's
Yeah.
why there are a lot of things that I'm over here just doing my thing and continuing
Mm,
elevating, and I'm not gonna change that because
mm,
you're not gonna let me fall victim to that because that's what they want. They don't want us to be prepared
mhm.
because if we get prepared, they can't stop us.
No,
So, yeah, they're
that's
gonna
right.
push that fear, they're gonna push the narrative of, "Well, you've gotta do it this way, and if you don't do it this way, then, you're not gonna get anything." No, you're gonna have a
Mm-mm.
peace of mind, you're gonna have a sense of fulfillment, you're gonna be operating higher. That's where
Totally.
I'm at.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
where
It's a
I'm at.
frequency thing. We're coming out of the information age into the age of frequency and
Yes.
transparency.
Yep.
So there's no bullshit in that. You got to be real. You gotta be real,
You
and
do.
I'm the only one who knows what that means to me. You're the only one who knows what that means to you, and, of course, we are facing, societal shadow
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
right? And you know where that begins? That begins with each one, teach one, be one, right?
Absolutely.
So that begins with me and looking at where am I hiding from myself? Where am I not really being real with myself? Because being real with yourself requires a little bit of ruthlessness, right?
It does.
I'm of the vein of be kind to others, ruthless with oneself,
Mhm.
right? Because I'm the only one who's going to check me.
Yep.
Believe that. I'm the only one. Nobody can check me. I do that. See, and
That
when you do
part.
that, when you check yourself, nobody can check you because I already
Straight like
got this
that.
in check.
Straight like that.
Right.
I love it. I
So
love it. Listen, y'all, if this
I'm
ain't
real
a
about that.
powerful conversation, y'all can scroll past, tune up, catch the next one. But what I want you to do is make sure that you have subscribed to this channel and subscribe to this podcast because these are the conversations that Empowering Real Talk is ready to have on a regular basis.
Mhm,
If it's
mhm.
not involving you getting aligned with yourself, getting
There you
in
go.
tune with what that's supposed to look like for you as an individual, embracing your individuality, like all of these things are going to help you step into that higher purpose for yourself, for humanity, because we need to be powerful, higher self individuals
Thank
in order
you.
for us to make the changes that we need to make in the world, in society, for humanity. We need that. We need those high vibrational people. We need
Mhm.
those people who are not worried about the outside judgment of others because we're operating in that. Don't
That's
be
it.
scared and worried
Yeah.
about what somebody's gonna say because you're having these kind of conversations. These are the conversations
Mhm.
that they are trying to stop us from having, and we won't have that on Empowering Real Talk, okay?
I love that you're speaking to the individual because it does start at the individual level. We can't do anything collectively till we do something individual. And I think we may be going from the wrong angle because of that like kind of herd
Yeah.
mentality that's been being shepherded by these by whatever media, the government, right? What is government? Governmental. They govern the mind, right? So I
Mhm.
think we've been trying to do it from an outside perspective rather than an inside out perspective.
Right.
Like the only change I can work about is work in my area, working the change here, being the change I want to see in the world, and showing up that way, so other people get can actually feel that permissiveness. Like, wow, I could be real.
Yeah.
I don't gotta be afraid.
I don't
Yeah,
gotta be
some people,
afraid.
some I'm not everybody's flavor.
I know I'm not, so I know I'm not, and I really embrace that, and,
Yeah,
once I started really embracing that, then that's when everything started happening for me. Not
totally.
worried about the
No,
outside influence, the judgment of others, how they look at me, or, "You talking a little real," or, "You being a little too unfiltered." "Oh, okay."
that's what it is. I have no filter. But that's what it is because in order to exist in the tribe, in the society, everybody has this agreed upon pretentious.
Yeah.
It's a pretension. It's like I'm going to show up like this, and here's how I'm supposed to present myself.
Yep.
And I'm not good at that. I'm like, there's like no I'm just no, there's no filter. It's just full transparency because you know what? First of all, as far as I know, this is my only life. That's
Mhm.
all I know. Right now, this is my life.
Yeah.
And I'm going to claim it. I'm going to live it. I'm going to be the totality of who I am in that. And come what may,
Come what may.
come what may.
Absolutely love it.
I'll know when I check out of here, I've been as real as I could.
That part.
And real is
You'll know
real.
that your life is fulfilled.
That's
You
it.
won't have to worry about if you didn't create the legacy that you wanted for yourself.
Yeah,
That's exactly where I'm at.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly where I'm at.
Real
That's
is
what I teach
real.
my clients. That's what we're on. We're on that higher vibration,
Totally.
satisfied, fulfilling life,
Yeah,
period. And
yeah.
whatever that looks like for you.
The way I look at it is when you sit in a circle, let's just say, like you're in a circle with your tribe, you're only going to get out of that circle what you put into it. You're not going to get anything from anybody and trying to get nothing from nobody. You only get out of life what you put into
What you
it.
put in. Woo.
Yeah. And so that's actually really super empowering because I actually takes me to another plane of consciousness, which is the causal plane. So I'll give you an example. I love my cause in the world because my cause is showing people that hey you have it's like when Glenda the Good Witch tells Dorothy, you had
Dorothy.
the power the whole time. You
Yeah.
had the power the whole time. You just needed somebody to remind you,
Yeah.
right? So, in my causal being, I know what I'm causing. And because I know what I'm causing, I love the effects.
Yeah.
I love the effects. And that's actually clean karma. It's real clean.
Well, y'all
I
heard
know what I'm
that.
causing. I ain't doing it unless I'm causing it, or I just ain't doing it.
Right.
And
Yep.
then and when I'm in an action, I know the cause of that action. And because I know the cause of that action, I live purely from the causal being and I love the effects. I love the effects, right? Anytime we get out of that realm, what am I causing here? What is my cause here? Right. And it's a little bit different than these causes that people want to get you in, like fight against something.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been in a fight?
Probably more than I
I
care
knew
to
the
believe.
I knew the answer to that. Me too, Ma. I've been in some fights. And guess what? In order to be in a fight, there has to be an agreement between those people to fight. Okay. So We have to agree to that. And we have been in this mind thing that we have to fight against something, but that's actually an agreement for it.
Yeah.
We're actually, it has to exist in order for me to fight
That's what
against
you
it. So
call them shifts in the
when
mindset. That shift, how she
I mean,
shifted
I
that.
used
Do
to
y'all see
rail
that?
my fist at the system and try to fight against it. And I realized that it was only keeping me fighting,
Yeah.
right? Against something. When I decided, wait, hold on, I'm going to fight for my life. I'm actually going to fight for my life because that is tangible to me.
Yes.
And I'm not against anybody in doing that. I'm actually standing up and showing people this is what is
Right.
sacred and valuable and all that other shit.
Exactly. Yeah, man, listen.
I knew you was going to get me.
Y'all, this is a powerful conversation. When I say this energy is high, high, high,
Yeah.
high, I love it. Before we get ready to close out, because we have been rolling and I love it, but I would love for you to share, just from your sharing and assisting perspective, some personal steps that someone can take when they're wanting to begin the process of the purification and the light consciousness, and just really what basic things, and I don't like to use the word basic, but like
No,
what is the
easy,
start? Where would that
easy,
start?
easy. The two most single important things that we do, they're required for life, breath and water. So, right?
Yes.
Breath, water, life. That's what Hawaii means. Hawaii. It means breath, water, life. The two most single important things we do are breathing and drinking water. So that's a great place to start.
Sometimes
Yeah.
simple as a breath, like I
I
love.
mean, I get up in the morning before I even get up out of bed. I sit up and I take 6 deep, long,
Yep,
slow breaths.
yep.
And then I go drink a big quart of water. That's my practice. I've been in that practice since I learned it.
Mm,
And I tell you, just that simple, basic practice will change your life. Because what's going to happen is when you start programming your body to get up and automatically take those 6 deep breaths, later on in the day, when a stressor comes up, your body's going to go, and it's
mhm.
going to blow it off.
Yeah. Woo, they don't understand. They don't
No, but
understand.
I promise if you do it,
It
you'll be
does,
like, oh
it
my
does.
God, that lady
Between
was
my
right.
meditation and my
Yeah,
box breathing and
that's
my
it.
30 minutes of just nothing but reflection for
Yeah,
myself, that's
yeah,
exactly where I'm
that's
at. And
real.
people don't are like, "You're not stressed about that?" No.
Nope.
Am I having the conversations about it? Yes, but I'm not stressing about it because there's
Yeah,
tools and strategies in place to help me with
yeah,
that. Because life
yeah.
is going to be life.
Mhm.
You have to make
Yeah,
sure your policies are in place to make sure your life is
I love
fulfilled and
that.
satisfying and
I
elevated.
love that.
So
Your
I love
policies.
that.
I
Hey,
love
my
that. That's
policies
awesome.
is there. You hear
I'm
me?
gonna borrow that. That's brilliant.
My policies are
That's my policy.
there.
Well, you know what? It really boils down to like, hold on, what's most important and most intrinsic to my being? Well,
Yep.
those two things are. And then what choices do I make from that? Right? That's our life.
It's facts.
Yeah.
It's facts.
Yeah,
I
mom.
love it. I love it. Let us know, like, what's coming for you? What's going on for you?
Well, I'm actually because it's difficult for people to get here to Hawaii for 2 weeks and go to that full immersion with me. We're designing an online course that people can take with us. And you'll get lifetime access because what I'd like to do is help people start to develop healthy routines and rhythms.
I love it.
And then if you get off track, you can always go back on.
Yep. I love
Yeah,
it.
so
To be
that's
able to
what's
have
coming
that
up for
tool.
us in our
I love
ministry.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. So, please let them know. I know that, you're kind of higher and above, but please let us know if there's anywhere that someone can follow you, website, anything. Let us know where we
Huh.
can find you.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. Altar of Life is our name. Altaroflife.org is our website. And yeah, always have the upgrades here.
I
Always
see.
got the upgrades.
And I will definitely make sure that those links are in the podcast notes, you guys. So if you want to learn more about stepping into your higher consciousness and elevating and purifying yourself the real and raw way, I definitely recommend checking her out. So it has been a pleasure. I could talk
Oh,
to you
honey,
probably all day. You know that we could do
likewise.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and get us out of here. Listen, y'all, the bottom line of it is you have control of what looks like for you. You have control to make these transformational shifts that we swear up and down that we can't do, that society tries to tell us that we shouldn't do. You have every right to live your life how you want to live it unapologetically. That's what I'm doing. That's what she's doing. And that's what I'm teaching others to do within upgraded mindsets and her as well. So if you have any questions, if you're interested in learning more about either one of our programs, do not hesitate to reach out. Our information will be in the podcast notes. But I want you to make sure you have favorited Empowering Real Talk. I want you to make sure that you share this episode. And I definitely want you guys' feedback. What did you think of the episode? Is there something that you can relate to? Is there something that you're going to try? We want to know all that feedback and all that good stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for
Thank
being here.
you,
It has been a
Kay.
pleasure.
Thank you for your good works in the world, and thank you for empowering, uplifting others.
Thank you so
That's
much.
how
Right
we
back
are
at you.
empowered and uplifted, through empowering
Period.
and uplifted. Thank
Period.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ma.
All
All
right,
right.
y'all.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.